The biggest task in AutoCAD is the design work, drawing lines, arcs, objects, dimensions, etc. But before you can do any of that, you have to be in the right file and you need to be in the proper command. The application menu, which I like to refer to as the big red A, is there to help you out with these things. Now, the big red A, or the application menu as it's really called, is found in the top left corner of the screen. Now, older versions of AutoCAD, it looked more like an A. Now it kind of looks like an origami A, but I still call it the big red A. The big red A is found here in the top left corner of the screen, and you click on it to open it up. Now, most of the tools here are very obvious what they are, like new, open, save, save as, print. These things you're going to use quite often. And when you hover over any one of these commands, it puts a list of additional commands on the right column here. So these are great. So if you want to start something new, like a new drawing or a new sheet set, you can come here. You can also click on these arrows to make sure that this list pops out and populates on your screen, just in case it doesn't. So I can go right here to open, click on the arrow, and I can open a drawing. I can open a drawing from the cloud, from a sheet set, or a DGN file, or some sample files from the internet. Save a file, I could do a save as, etc. But there are a couple of things on here that you might not see right away. Right down here is the Exit AutoCAD button. I click this and it closes out all my files and I'm done. If I click on this Options button, that brings up my AutoCAD options. These options have a lot of different customizable settings that I can use to make sure AutoCAD's running the way I want it to. But two other things that I want to show you are the drawing lists and the command search. So the drawing list is right here by default. Before you select any of these commands, the drawing list will be populated in the right column. So right here is my recent documents. These are files that I've had open recently, the last 8 or so files that I've worked with. You can order them in a lot of different ways. If you click on these two buttons here, that will give you some options. I can order that like a list. I can order it by access date, which is something you might like, and it's one thing that I use often, by file size or by file type. Now this option here shows how they're displayed: small icons, large icons, small images, which is actually really nice because then you get a preview of what the drawings look like. Or you can go even to larger images. I typically use this type of small icon because when I hover over it, it'll give me a preview of my file. So that's a great way to find files that you've worked on recently. Now let's say there's something that you had opened and you want to keep working on it. Maybe it's the base file or the main file for a project you're working on right now. And so you're going to need to get to it every day. Because one of the problems with the recent documents list is as you open files, it keeps it up here and then it knocks the rest of them out. So it's possible you just needed to go to a few files to get something really quickly or to look at it as an example or something like that. But it's not really what you're working on. So what you can do is come here to the right side. And if you click on this little push pin, it's called pinning it, and it will lock this item into your list. So if I open up something else and eventually all these get pushed down the list until they're removed, these items won't. They'll stay in the list. They'll stay pinned. So that's a really great way to help you manage the files you're working on to give you quick and easy access to it. You get to this list by clicking right here, Recent Documents. Now, there's another list. It's called Open Documents. If you click on it, it'll show you all the files that you have open right now. And you can get to any of them just by clicking on the file list. I click it and I'm right here. I'm in my drawing file that I wanted to get to. And again, you have options right here, just the same way as before, to manage those. I typically leave it here because that's the way I usually work. Another great feature of the application menu is the ability to find commands with it. It's especially helpful when you're not sure the exact name of the command or have any idea where it is that you can find it on the ribbon, in a toolbar, or wherever. So if you come up to the application menu, click in this little field box here, you see the little magnifying glass that tells you it's the search command. And you just type in the name of the command. And once you do, AutoCAD will automatically populate that command for you. And it tells you where it is. So you see here the best match, a ribbon match, and it tells you other various locations of where it can be found. So it tells you right here, it's in the ribbon tab, on home, draw, and then line. You can also just start the command just by clicking it, whatever the command is. And now you can draw a line. So that's a great way to find the command that you need, to find out where it is, find out what's going on, and what files you're using with the application menu and things like that. So the big red A, or the application menu, is a great tool to help you get to some basic commands, to manage the files that you're working with, and to find commands if you don't know where they're at.